I just want to say thank you very much. I love all you guys, and we're changing the world. So thank you all for an amazing conversation. Thank you for your your kind words and your inspiration, for sharing your stories, and we'll talk again soon. Okay.
Hello there. Hello, Eric. I'm so happy to see you, Sir Jay. Hello, my dear. I see you more often because we are together in the Telegram group. Okay, so today we have this great opportunity to have Eric Wesch from Etacude. Eric, I don't know, Sir Jay, if you want to say something. Do you know Eric?
I do. I discovered Eric's YouTube channel 1 year ago. Okay, when I was searching for some teaching ideas, I really needed some fresh air. Okay, as a student, and what I found, what I saw in your videos, it really impressed me, and it helped me a lot as a beginning teacher. So yes, since then I have been following all your videos, and so thank you for your work, Eric.
Well, thank you so much for those kind words, Sergey. My name is Eric, and I've got a small channel called Etacude, and I started this channel I had some ideas for teachers, and there was nothing out there like what I was thinking about. So I'm just sharing some videos and ideas on activities and classroom management. I don't know if it's perfect, but it's something I put out there, and hopefully it can help some people or some teachers that want some ideas.
Thank you very much. Eric, Sir Jay and myself, we are helping Christian Saunders with a very, very nice project. We were trying to join Pencils of Promises because we plan to build a school in Laos. Okay, we are doing it. So far, we have achieved a great amount of money, more than 35,000, and our target is 50,000. So we are almost getting there, okay? And we have a Telegram group, is the one you saw in the video before, okay? So this is, one part of these activities that we call introducing a new guest or introducing someone who's doing, a great job in his or her area, So we're so thankful because of that, okay? So this is not going to be a long video. So let's go to the point. Maybe Sergey, you want to introduce yourself first?
Yeah, my name is Sergey. I'm from Latvia. It's a small, tiny country in Northern Europe. So I'm still a student. Okay, I want to become an English teacher, as Eric or as Kathy. Okay, I need a lot of experience, and I think half a year ago I stumbled across this project, Christian's charity project, Pencils of Promise, uh, and I joined this project, and I realized that it's a place for enthusiasts and just for English students, English teachers, everyone from all over the world to come together, okay, to put the energy together and to just to have fun, okay, and learn English along the way. So that's a fantastic place. It's a community driven. All activities and classes that are happening in the charity project are community driven. Everyone can step forward and propose their initiative. So it's a wonderful place. I also give classes on Laos, about Lao culture, to the volunteers. Yeah.
Yes, your part is incredible, Sergey, because I knew the country, but I never had the opportunity to get in contact with the culture, the way they live there, and it's only with your help, because Sergey is working that part of the our community, talking about Laos, okay, the culture, So thank you so much. Okay, without any other thing, maybe about introductions, let's go to the topic. Today's topic was English as a work in progress. Maybe I don't know if I said correctly, but I stepped into this idea. I came across this idea the other day. A student said, "Yeah, but English for me is a work in progress. It's forever like this, something like that. So I said to myself, yeah, maybe it's like that. So I would like maybe Eric, do you have something to say about this?
I think with any ambitious goal that you have in life, you've got to reaffirm your commitment to it. And it's oftentimes when we think it's you just do the work, you do the job, you reach a certain level, and now you can just stay there, you can relax. We all just want to get to the end of the day when we can put our feet down, we've done what we had to do. But I think with people that genuinely want to see progress, they know that it's not just about ending up somewhere. So if you've got goals with exercise, you don't think, okay, well, I'm going to exercise hard for 1 year, and then for the rest of my life, I'm just going to sit on the couch. No, you know that every day you're going to wake up, you're going to say, what can I do to improve myself, not just to reach a certain goal and then to quit forever. Or if it's and I think it's the same with English, where it's there are different ways that we can motivate ourselves to improve a skill. If we want to learn English, for example, we shouldn't say, okay, listen, I want to prepare for an interview, and then after that interview, that's when I'm done. I'm not going to improve until that point. You're going to tell yourself, listen, every day you're going to reaffirm your commitment to improving your English. You're going to continue learning, practicing, learning new things. And I think the way that you can motivate yourself is by finding joy in these things that you're learning, and not just look at the end goal of what you want to do. So yes, everything is a work in project. It's a work in What is the expression?
Progress.
Here we go. A work in progress. Life is a work in progress. We're not just going to stop because we're tired. We want to continue and improve.
I heard somewhere that say beta status is a beta. Because when you have, for example, a new launch, you are going to launch a new product, you keep it in some kind of a beta status, which is that it's not still completely done. It's like some experiment related to, so you're proving, you're testing, So we are like that. We are in that state, because that state allows us to do all the changes, to be flexible also, right? Sergey,
you want to see your sorry if I'm interrupting. You want to see yourself as the underdog in your life. You're constantly trying to motivate yourself. Now there are gray areas where you can say I'm constantly trying to improve myself, and also being happy with your progress. There is this balance. But if you feel yourself slipping, like, oh, why am I doing this? Why am I pushing myself? See yourself in the underdog in your story and push yourself to improve. And then once you do good things, and once you step up and you study that vocabulary, or you have more conversations, or you watch a movie and you make notes, or you practice pronunciation, then you've got to be grateful. So it's always walking on a balance beam of trying to reach our goals. So yeah, no, it's definitely like that.
Eric, you partly answered the question I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask, when the process of learning English doesn't seem, fun anymore, isn't it a signal that you're doing something wrong, or that you have lost, your enthusiasm? Shouldn't learning English, always feel like fun?
I think the beauty in life is rediscovering new purpose, new reasons to do something. So if you are stuck, I think that's a time when you take a break and you reevaluate where you are and what you want to do. I think, I look at some great athletes. How do these great athletes keep pushing themselves to become the best? They find new reasons, So let's say you had a reason, you really wanted to improve your English for a test. And once that test is over, you think, okay, well, the test is done. I'm kind of bored of this now. Now you've got to find a new reason. Maybe you think, 5 years from now, I want to travel and I want to do something. Why not just steadily progress? So I would say is keep shifting what you want to achieve, and keep shifting those goals. And if you do feel stuck, take a break and find another reason. But don't hit your head against the wall just because you think that is what you're supposed to do. Just find a different way to motivate yourself.
Excellent. Okay, so now what I want to do is to say, in my case, in my personal opinion, when I am working with my students, sometimes when I take a textbook, okay, and I go through the grammar, which is correct, right? Because we need some bases, and structures, When I go through the grammar, I see their faces like, okay, and yeah, okay. But then I start talking about something that they are maybe interested in, or, or something that is, top or trendy in this moment, and I can see their faces and also their attention getting focused to that point again, right? And then all this grammar is like forgotten for a while, And another thing that I wanted to share with you is that I had this experience with the students when I was working with the grammar, and I started to see that they were making even more mistakes. Just a minute after we went into the grammar, it's like they were paying more attention in the structures that they were using, instead of just trying to express however it was possible for them, And when they were doing that in a more, maybe in a more free way, okay, they were making less mistakes. And when they were paying more attention into the grammar, they were making more mistakes. So that is a huge question I always have, Eric. I don't know if you have any recommendation to that, right?
Well, I think, okay, so I started writing down some ideas, because as you talk, what's great about conversations is, it sparks something in us. And so I started writing down some ideas I had. So you started talking about, when you teach grammar, the students sometimes, they just lose focus, their eyes glaze over, and the word that comes to mind is passive. These students are passive. They think the grammar is boring, it's not necessary, and it doesn't impact their lives. You know, there's no connection to who they are, so why should they care? Why should they learn? Whereas and then some of the students that are very dedicated, you know, they just want to learn and take in information. That's who they are. But the majority of students will, you know, will stare blankly at you. Now I kind of this idea popped into my head of like, when it comes to grammar, you said that, you know, if you make it about the students, if you tell them an interesting story, if you allow them to use that grammar in a way that, you know, where they can share their ideas, they're more likely to remember it. And it kind of made me think of watching a movie. Okay, now please go along with me. So if I told my students, okay, everyone, we're going to watch this movie, you know, so most of the students are just going to sit there passively. They're going to watch the movie. They're going to become interested in some parts. They're going to doze off in other parts. Some students might take notes, but that's very rare. But now, if I tell the students, okay, well, I want you to see yourself as one of the actors, and I want you to tell the story. Maybe they're going to think about it more. They're going to experience it more. They're going to be more invested in that story. If I ask them, okay, well, can you retell the story in your own words? You know, maybe they're going to make some notes and they're going to put in some effort to be as correct as they can be. If I can ask them, how does this story relate to your life? You know, how would you, how do you see some of the characters or the story unfold in your life? Or even, you know, what's funny, if you watch a movie and have you watched Lord of the Rings before? So every guy that watches Lord of the Rings, you know, they know some trivia of the movie. And then every time you watch the movie, you remember the trivia more than you do the characters' names or what happened in the movie. But you remember this because it allows you to share something interesting with people. Now, if you have your lessons where you can allow your students to share their ideas or interesting facts that they've learned. That's why, as a teacher, have you often noticed when you tell your students some interesting information, their eyes light up because they think, oh, this is something I can share with someone later. And I think we should approach our teaching, especially any subject that we do, but especially English, if we approach it from the way that how can we make this relevant to our students? How can we allow them to share their minds on the subject or share some experiences? They will more likely be able to take it into account. And I think that's the same with grammar. Obviously, you're going to have to teach the boring grammar. You're going to have to go through that with them. And remember that students have a limited capacity for attention. So you're going to want them to focus for that short part on what you're teaching. And then immediately after that, you're going to want to put them into groups or with a partner, or you're going to ask them to share some of their own experience or create their own sentences or do it in a fun, creative way for them to actually engage with that grammar and share their experiences.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah, it's a fact of maybe timing, do a correct timing in the classroom, right? With, you know, maybe get to different activities with different targets or not targets, maybe objectives, right? Goals with each activity. So Jay, I would like you to come with a question or comment.
Well, first of all, it was a nice. It's a nice strategy that you Eric just laid out. Just fantastic. Yes, I heard you talking about that in some of your videos. Okay, I tried it out in my with my students. Okay, in the class, and it really worked. Okay, when you make. Okay, you sit down, you take your time as a teacher, you make this grammar point relevant, interesting. Okay, of course, it takes time. Okay, it requires creativity, but it works. It works just fantastic. Yeah. But apart from taking English classes, okay, students, well, in order to improve their English to get real results, it's good for them, to study also individually. And many instructors online, they advise students, to spend, well, they all say different things. Spend 15 minutes a day at least on learning English. Some say spend 1 hour a day at least to get some real results as soon as possible. What is your take on this? How much time does a student need to spend every day on learning Okay, and how exactly should the student spend those minutes or hours? What, reading, watching videos, speaking to themselves, or something else?
Well, that's a great question. I think, you know, that's one of the difficult things. Recently, I did a video on how to motivate our students, and I mean, there are many ways to motivate them, but it's very difficult to get our students to get them to do self-study after class, you know. But it is necessary if they want to improve. Recently, I read a book by, or well, I listened to the audiobook by Stephen Presley. It's called Turning Professional. And basically, in this book, he talks about the difference between staying an amateur and becoming a professional. And it's keeping yourself to a higher standard. You know, with students, I also see them. The ones that really improve, it's almost like they turn pro. They tell themselves, I'm not amateur anymore. I'm dedicating myself to improving. Now, with those students, it's easy, but with students that are difficult to motivate, you're going to want to get them to spend more time outside on their English. And I would start slow at first. I would say, okay, well, guys, if they're not interested in English, I would tell them, okay, go out, and I want you to spend I want you to play a game, I want you to watch a movie, I want you to read a book, and I want you to find some English examples from there for 10 minutes, right? If they're not very interested in English, try and motivate them with the things they are interested in, right? So you're going to say, oh yeah, just learn something small, share something with the class, you know, but I want you to find something English that you can share. And then over time, I want you to try and push them to work harder on the things that they are excited about. Because if they start thinking about things that they are excited about and interested in, and combine that with their English, maybe they're going to push themselves to improve. Now, students that are turning pro in English, I would say you're going to want to put at least an hour or two aside to working on grammar, to working through a book. Those are the ones that are already trying to turn pro, and then the ones that are trying to learn, you're going to start slow and try and build up their interest, right? So I would say start off by just giving them some ideas on making those connections between what they like and English, and then when they turn pro, maybe an hour or two self-studying, going through books, reading, and improving on their own.
Love that idea of turning pro. Continue, Sergey.
Yeah. So basically, it's about, you know, making those tasks and topics personally relatable. Yeah, for those students, they should be relatable. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. But I think Eric, Kathy, we all would agree that given the opportunities that the internet opens up, okay, online opportunities. Not reading in English, not watching, English videos, or not listening to English speech, it's a sin. It's a cardinal sin. It's a huge mistake. So, and those materials, reading, listening materials, they all differ. Okay, books differ. They can be, graded books, graded readers, which are, adopted to the level of students, which are simplified in a way, which are easy to read. Let's say for A2 students, they can find a book in A2 level. And there are also authentic materials, like real life materials, which are more difficult, more maybe in a way dangerous for students, because it's a mix of levels, authentic materials. So what would you suggest students, especially beginners, use? Special simplified materials, or more challenging real life authentic materials?
I think definitely if with regards to beginners, those will usually be your younger students, or students that recently started studying English, but most students start younger. I would say graded readers are fantastic, and most of these big book publishers, they've got great teachers and writers working for them, writing amazing books and making great material. If we can get it into the hands of our students, that's a lot better. But obviously with the original material, that students might interact with, cartoons or things like that, in that case, you're going to want to find them, try and let them share those experiences with you. But you're definitely right. The internet is out there. There are amazing communities, and I think it's just opening up and getting the students involved in that learning process.
Would you recommend, speaking from moment, I mean, from the first moment, do you recommend, for example, I have adult students, okay? Some adult students, they are really shy. They're really shy when they are beginners, very basic beginners. They don't want to risk a word, okay? So, but would you recommend that even saying so, they would try speaking from from day one?
One of the things that a lot of people don't understand about teaching is it's not just about teaching the subject, but it's also building the confidence of our students, to make them more confident to use English. At the end of each lesson or whatever you're teaching, you want the student to be able to say, today I learned, today I can, today I do this. So even at a very base level, I'm constantly trying to improve the confidence of my students. So let's say we've got an adult who took my class, and I'm going to teach. He's going to be very shy, but at the end of that class, I'm going to have practiced a word, a phrase, something with them, so that at the end of the class, I'll ask them, okay, so what is your favorite color? If they tell me blue, they're going to know, they're going to have one minor step where they're like, wait, I could just say a color. I have improved a little bit. So I usually call it mom points. A mom point is something at the end of class, you can go to your mom and say, mom, today, listen to me do this. So I think it's so vitally important in your students, so that at the end of class, they can do something. So yes, even if it's just one word, even if it's a phrase, if they can say it, now they finally said something, and they're not just going to wait until the next week or the next week. They're going to grow in confidence, and they will want to come back to the class.
Great idea, Eric. Yes, today I can. Yesterday I had a lesson, and the guy had to say, I am and you are, I am, you are, and then he reviewed the numbers, and there were some numbers even from 1 to 10 that were difficult for him, but at the end he could say it. So yes, he did something, right? Excellent.
Let me ask you, Katy, you also enjoyed that feeling of accomplishment after they can say that, right? And I think that's great as teachers. We can feel once we had a breakthrough or success. And remember, we want to build that motivation and that confidence step by step, and so that they can also feel more powerful when they come into class.
Excellent. So Jay.
Yeah, but in case, for example, your students experience maybe shyness or fear or embarrassment, after making a mistake, or maybe anxiety even, what would you do? Are those feelings, are those feelings normal in learning English? And how can students best cope with them?
Yeah, it's up to a teacher to create an environment where students feel safe and they want to succeed. I say this often, that as soon as students walk into my class, I have a rule. The rule is that nobody is shy in my class. It's an absolute rule. It cannot be broken. So as soon as they walk in that door, they are a speaking machine. They don't care. And I tell them that, if you don't make mistakes, then you aren't learning. So okay, that's the first rule I make. That's just an example. And then in class, I constantly ask my students questions to keep them on their toes and know that I'm going to. But if you foster that environment of the teacher's going to ask me a question, I better be able to just say something. And I rarely have it. Even in where I teach now, a lot of students are very shy. But for the last 10 years, I've never had a student saying, oh, I can't answer that. If they do say something like that, I will rephrase the question, take a step back, and make it easier. So let's say I ask them, okay, what did you do yesterday? And they're quiet, I can break it down. I'm like, okay, then you take it a step back. How are you? Okay, what did you do yesterday? And then so you're constantly, it's this it's almost this flow of how you're trying to motivate the students to speak. And yeah, so if you build that confidence and they know that, you know, they know that you are there and you've got their best interest in heart, you're not just trying to be strict, you're trying to goad them, trying to get them to speak well, they're going to be more open to speak as well.
And not correcting all the time. Maybe you have to let some mistakes just to go. Maybe then after you can go over that,
Definitely.
you know, but not immediately. Because sometimes I mean, you can hear myself. I am making a few mistakes, but you understood what I said, so you let it go. In a classroom, maybe it's a little bit different. You have to correct. You have the opportunity to correct that.
Sorry for interrupting. Yeah, there's I just did it. I interrupted. There's actually a difference between, so you want, you can focus on fluency or accuracy. Accuracy is you want them to be perfect. So maybe after they said something, you're going to correct them just so that they know. And the fact that if you correct them, their friend is also learning something new. They're like, oh, okay, there's that. As opposed to, like I said before, confidence is very important for students. There's no way that I would break down my students' confidence. So, and then with the fluency, you're going to let things go. And instead, you might rephrase a question, or you might use that mistake they made and just say it in the right way. So then they hear, oh, this is the way the teacher is saying what they were saying, right? So you rephrase it. There's something about, but there is, when it comes to accuracy, there are some rules that I have. For example, I told my students from the start, I won't correct you unless I think it's important. And one of the mistakes most Korean students make is with singulars. They say he go, he eat, she play. And as soon as I told my students from the start, I'm sorry, but I'm going to interrupt you and fix it. Because if you fix this one mistake that 99% of Korean students make, it's going to put you in a different league above them. So in that case, I am very strict to help them improve.
Yeah, but it's common. That mistake is really common here with the Spanish learners as well. They forget.
So basically, you take a So basically, you take a mistake, maybe even an unexpected mistake, and you turn it into a learning opportunity, right? So interesting.
Definitely.
Okay, we're about to end because I promise you this to be short. Okay, I would like, so Jay, please go with your last words.
Okay, my last words. All right. Thank you so much, Eric. It was a pleasure to meet you. Okay, as I said, I've been following your channel for more than 1 year. And we're looking forward to your new videos. Okay, they're incredible. They're incredibly useful, and the teachers from our Canguro English community are also waiting for your new videos. So it was for some of them it was a fascinating discovery. Okay, your channel. Some of them knew already about you. So, anyways, we're looking forward to new content. Thank you, Eric, for your work.
Yeah, and I'm going to post when I do this, you know, I'm going to say that where to find you, of course, my dear. Okay, and your last words, my dear Eric.
Well, you know, I just want to say thank you to Christian and all the other teachers that are working so hard to accomplish this ambitious goal of building a school. And I think it's so smart and it's so great to focus on this common purpose, you know, to have this goal that it's ambitious, but everybody focuses and moves towards it. And I think, you know, whatever we do in life, you know, if we've got that singular goal, that's our goalpost, if we can move little by little towards it, things will work out in the end. And I just want to say thank you to Christian and all these teachers for showing us that, you know, even something as amazing as building a school is truly possible.
Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you. And thank you for all your support. You've always been, since I met you, you know, the first day, you were like such a friend, such a friend. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to let you go and say thank you again. Okay, enjoy your weekend that is coming soon, you know.
Bye-bye, Katie. Bye-bye, Sergey.